Milltown Cemetery. When British Special Forces shot dead an IRA team, 3 bodies were brought to Belfast. Michael Stone fired shots. According to folklore, when challenged, gained entry to the heavily steward cemetery by uttering Chucky R. La. Apocryphal or not, the phrase is riddled with an English subtext. An Irish one cannot own a day, ownership being a hazy concept, nor can a day have active volition. Lily Bolero Bolanola in full is a corruption of An Lilia Balere Bolinola, the theme tune of the old BBC World Service. Posted at the graves in Milltown Cemetery, an apologist or a psychiatrist might interpret Stone's act as the voice heard by the French royalist, the archangel's role against the rebel forces of Lucifer. Occurred to Stone. Word bubble ambiguities rub up against each other off the broad thoroughfare of the Falls. The derelict mill that had once been powered by streams that emanated from Black Mountain, flowing beyond, carved out by artifice and weathering, the remedy for this injury. Hospital, humour, inordinately boring, steadily progressive myopia, mishandled ricochet as the headlights, the blank stone eyes of archangels. You feel the dead are signalling to you from a rocky orifice on Black Mountain and down the mountain lonely, both riverbed and road, like the Barset River that ran below the yard of St. Gall's Schools in Waterville Street. Barset, the name of Belfast, Belfastia agus Achanyam Nyafa Lasti, notes that the educated on the first syllable Belfast, powerful influence of the BBC, the working class pronounce it Belfast, as do most country people. Those few who survive waited on the last syllable. What the name means, the mouth of the pool, might receive some corroboration from local facts, but as it is, claims that Belfast is derived. Bell in Celtic means ford, bell or ford of the Barset. Scholars since the times of Joyce misunderstood the Battle of the Boyne. Belfast and illustrated history. The Mystrian Cruthin, a people closely connected with the Picts. Bardon gives the date of 666 AD, one of the Mars of the Beast. Loch Nefersky, the Axel people, power source or a string of mills in which both denominations were employed. Traditionally focused around the hearth for the third time that week at family rosary time. These circumstances would be overturned. The flimsy sheet itself from Sanssouci Park, a tea-cozy cottage, its threshold into the imaginary room beyond. The slow metronome of a pendulum clock, the light of a Vermeer interior, the same calm brightness follows across the crinkles of a wall map. Anderson's flying trunk made remarkable expeditions for such an ostensibly floor-bound item. The sherbet fountains, Miss Boyd, Matron, Richard Chamberlain, Gardner, Arts Council of Northern Ireland, 1818 Grand Mills Road. The bungalow opposite 198 Grand Mills Road, the floor furthest from the fire, a stamp type. A hangala bay anach the clo datnian hooker tarva bay, though it was only an embryo, you could see it was a bull calf. Curru na cloch and hoya, dryads murmur from within the trees, and moths flit through dabbled moonshine, trembled by a zephyr, the occasional swash of a car. For an instant, in a migraine flicker, you imagine yourself the steering wheel absorbing the luminous lips. For months and months in that monstrous iron enclosure, there was nothing that had the faintest likeness to a ship. The iron scaffolding for the naves of half a dozen cathedrals, the skeleton within the scaffolding, at the sight of which men held their breaths, bosses and bearings of propellers the size of windmills. Men were laying on concrete beds, sliding ways of pitch pine to support the monster. When she was moved, the pavement surface, more than 2 tons, spread upon the ways, fixed against the bulk of the ship. When the moment came, the waters thrust her finally from the earth, built by Messrs. Harland and Wolff. The twin vessels marked such an increase in size, but the voyage was never completed. 2 hours and a half later, her crew were drowned and 705 rescued. A floating palace sailed from Southampton in 1898. Rich passengers savoured her luxury. The book's title was Futility. 14 years later, a real luxury liner laden with rich passengers. There were not enough lifeboats. Robertson's novel, a tramp steamer Canada bound from Tyneside. Midnight. The time the Titanic had hit the iceberg, the sea had been calm. These thoughts took shape and swelled into omens. His lonely watch, his tired bloodshot eyes. The coincidence was terrifying. It was the day he had been born. The ship churned to a halt. Deadly icebergs crowned it in and around the tramp steamer to display their wonder. Light so much more intense, this beautiful ship in dire distress, telling and warning of the calamity happening in the world beneath. A fellow passenger, the narrow approach, opportunity was to be found. The background too was different. star factory, parts of car horns, 2 or 3 occasions, I found myself re-entering the turnstiles of the Falls Road baths with my hard-beating trunks. Their freight of meaning inhabiting a sentence without digesting it, diverse personal narratives and many-layered timescales. Dogs howled unaccountably at the sound. How abrupt and nagging space vehicle, its argus multitude of portholes in lifeboat mode, like a dandelion propaganda drop from early speculative fiction, cinema, and obscure Esperanto novels, with fellow Esperantists in the Soviet Union and Springfield, Massachusetts, the news of some great cataclysm. In the forested interior, hoary workers, loads and loads of rare commodity, gangs of metronomic hod carriers moved on regiments of scaffolding and ladders, as if reconstructing echo chamber conversations knocked over accidentally those who sought the starry rock and Aztec crystal skull. With dazzling effect we saw tattered wraiths of cloud, recumbent idols gazed at us, following with difficulty the time-worn sketch map. We would fall through trapdoors, confirmed a chapter of the serial. Your man manacled and shackled, the beaten track where gospel truth met myth. St. Patrick has a dream, whose iconic details might, in different shifts of emphasis or context, elevate and quicken the narrative. A sod of turf becomes a parable. The Sacred Heart reminds us one of the power, smile or frown. The synthetic horn, a duffel coat tie, a brooch with a broken cat. Each could tell its tale, a narrative abyss. Other alcoves, other niches, each a cornucopia of past associations. The storyteller leaves ornamental flourishes received from generations past, mitigated by the grain of his voice, the literal room, that brown glazed mixing bowl, for instance.